All right, I think we are up and running here. 1 second while I get situated here. I'm kind of coming in cold to this stream, so frantically putting together all the info we need for the night. But it looks like it is going to be round 11 here in the Netherlands. So pretty on par with the real life schedule, actually, which is pretty convenient. And it looks like we actually have a pretty solid turnout tonight. I believe only like 12 or 13 people had checked in, but I saw 15 right before we loaded in. I think that is correct. Let me get everything together. We're just now loading into the lobby and starting off our standard qualifying session. Alright, so nobody has headed out to the pitch just yet. We're getting some setups underway, and it looks to be a very nice day out, at least here in qualifying. Not a cloud in sight. I don't think we're going to see any adverse conditions for the remainder of the session. While we wait for these guys to wrap up their out laps, let me go ahead and pull up these standings. Since I was actually gone last week, so I am catching up myself with where the current standings lie. So here in the driver standings, we'll take a quick look here. Born Ready does maintain his lead with another win. I believe it was Spa last week. So he's up to 194. Still has a nice healthy lead of 55 points above. Now Jazbo, who has moved up into P2 above Captain Clapjack, with what appears to be a third place finish in a fastest lap. So Captain Clapjack very close behind, only 3 points behind there it looks like, in P3. Otherwise, Damon still sits in P4. He is now in triple digits at 100 points. Peak Hour moves above Straggly Rex, making a move as well. 94 points there with the second place, it would appear. And Straggly Rex falls down, still within striking distance of that P5 position. Lay Bloomer sticks in the P7 position. We also have some movement here. Looks like AK moved up against or above Agog, and Sammy Cush moves up 2 places into P10. Just a quick overview there. Now looking at the driver standing, so it is the Kicksaubers in first. I believe that has changed since I last commentated over the past 2 weeks. I believe it was Alpine that was leading. With all of the, let's see here, it would have been Captain Clapjack and Sammy Cush, but Kicksaubers are once again in first. I believe they were for the majority of the season, and then there was a mix-up there for a week or two, with Born Ready taking some time off. But looks like we do have the Alpines in second, Red Bull pretty close behind in third, Williams also very close in the battle at 158 there in fourth, and then we have a little bit of a drop off there, but 97, 96, and 95 points between Haas, McLaren, and Ferrari. McLaren making a move past Ferrari there, but all very much still fighting for that P5 in the constructors. But getting back on track here, let's take a look at who is going to be our first driver to post up a time. Let's orient ourselves. So Elon Rogan, 111.6 will be the early benchmark here. Zmanian Devil with a 111.8. Don Duch, 111.398. Takes provisional pole. Shortly before, Captain Clapjack puts a 110.96 on the board, putting him in provisional pole. LK goes a 111.897. He puts him in P6 currently. It looks like that might have been Peak Hour, who just finished up with a 111.7. So we got guys rapidly getting across the line here. Sammy Cush, 112.43. Going to be in the back of the field for now. Johnny Damon wrapping up his lap. And Johnny Damon with the 112.9. Not sure what happened there. I know we'd expect some pace here from Johnny Damon. He is a good second behind of Captain Clapjack in first. Actually be a couple seconds, actually. Meanwhile, Born Ready, our drivers championship leader, currently heading out for his outlap, as well as Jazbo, who is looming in second there. Certainly going to be looking to make some moves into potentially a better position to overtake Born Ready in this championship. Looks like AK might be finishing up his lap, or he's right in the middle of his lap, I should say. Headed into the hairpin there. Jazbo starting up his lap as well. We'll keep an eye on these two guys. AK is going to be finishing up first, it would appear, out of the group of them. Oh, there's Johnny Damon with a 1:10.06. That's a lot more like it. I'd take it. That first lap, he may have just been warming the tires. He may have bailed on it. And, excuse me, did AK, was that an outlap? Or maybe that was deleted. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Johnny Damon puts up the 1:10.06, puts him nearly a full 9/10, or just under 9/10, ahead of Captain Clapjack. Excellent lap for him there. So certainly a lot more to speed of what we would expect out of Johnny Damon at this point. Don Duch is going to be ripping another hot lap. We'll keep an eye on him. Osmanian Devil drops a bit of time there with a 1:11.285. Nice improvement there. Moves him up into P4, now P5. Looks like Jazbo may have wrapped up there, the 1:11.08. Very close behind Captain Clapjack. We know these two will be fighting for that, at the minimum, the P2 position here in the Drivers' Championship. Born Ready doesn't appear to be pushing just yet. We have a little bit of traffic here coming into turn 13, I believe. But Born Ready will be starting up his lap. Certainly will keep on his onboard. We know as the constructors, or excuse me, the drivers, not champion just yet, but leader in the championship. We're going to be expecting a pretty quick time out of him here. Will he be able to compete with the 1:10.0 from Johnny Damon? We will find out here shortly. Burning off a little bit of that battery, I believe, in Zandvoort. There is a little bit of flexibility to burn a little bit of extra battery. Gotta manage it, make sure you have enough to get over the start-finish line with that straight line speed advantage. Runs pretty tight there, and then going into the hairpin, keeps it very clean. Looks like he has a nice launch. We do have AK leaving the session. Not sure if that was intentional. So we'll try to get him an invite real quick. But here comes Born Ready. He put a 1:30 on one of his warm-up laps here, but we'll see a true test of his time here in a second. 1:10.776. Meanwhile, Captain Clapjack did improve to 1:10.761. I believe that's a new time for him as well. So it puts Born Ready in P3. Mike Gaudio, 1:10.872, joins the 1:10 club. He wrapped that up a minute or two ago while we were watching Born Ready's onboard there, and he's going to go ahead and place himself on the second row for now. 4 drivers sitting in the 1:10s. So that was a invalidated lap. We'll take a look at Jazbo here, who is down a 10th, coming around the final corner. And 1:10.859. He squeaks by Mike Gaudio for the time being, puts him into P4. So not a bad lap at all. He'll now find himself on the second row of the grid. Devil doesn't appear to be pushing just yet. Agog very well might be. We'll take a quick look at some of these other drivers here. Elon Rogan appears to be on a flying lap. He is behind by about a 10th. He's not quite matching his previous time at the 1:11.6. So he's got a little bit of work to do in Sector 3 here to pull off an improvement. very crucial final exit into turn 14 there. Make sure you get the maximum top speed there, finishing up the lap. He does not improve, so he will sit in P10 currently. Don Duch not improving either. And he's not even pushing, I don't think. Agog, on the other hand, is certainly pushing. He's down 0.2, and he's going to go ahead and put up a 110 and join the 110 runners here into P6, third row on the grid. A quick double check the track map here. I want to make sure I'm getting my corners right. Don Duch appears to be starting up his next hot lap here. Most of the drivers now are in the pits, most of which will probably have one more set of soft tires to give it a run. But we have a really, really close battle here from P2 through P6. Now, Johnny Damon is sitting very, very comfortably in that P1 position with the 110.06. Don Duch, very similar time there, only 4 thousandths of a second behind his previous time. So he's got 2 sectors ahead to find some improvement. Coming through turn 10, another corner that really comes down to just maximizing your grip on the exit here, especially in the race when you have a DRS zone through this very short straight. Not impossible to make overtakes, but entirely dependent on the launch you can get out of turn 10. And it would appear Don Duch is the only other one besides Sammy Cush on a current hot lap. Don Duch does bail out and dives into the pits. Sammy Cush, on the other hand, is in the middle of their hot lap. We're just now starting it up. They are down 0.2 already, so looking good. They're going to have to drop a little bit more than that here in this last sector here, given that LK is a full half second ahead of them currently. They may have had trouble in this last sector on their first run, so there could be room for some improvement here. 111.898, just right on the cusp, literally 1/1000th of a second behind LK. Closed the gap, but did not improve on their position. It would appear that they're going to run a back-to-back hot lap, though. They have tons of battery to get it done. So this one might be the one that's going to count for Sammy Cush here. Down 0.08 already, so looking good in Sector 1. That 0.08 alone would be enough to move him up 2 more positions into P11. Tons of battery to spare, looking good. From the onboard here, no major mistakes we can see. Little lock up there going into turn 11, but they are down again a couple tenths, so they're looking good. Might have back-to-back improvements here, and those 2 tenths will be certainly valuable on the starting grid. Potentially move them into the top 10. And Sammy Cush with the 111.69 improves once again. Doesn't quite get into the top 10, but does move up to P11 from their P13 position prior. Dio would appear to be on a flyer. We'll keep an eye on him. Born Ready is going to be starting up their flyer. They appear to have also taken an additional lap to get those tires up to temp. A little bit of locking up on the front right tire there, but looking pretty good. We'll take a look at their current split. Dio in the race here for that P2 position. They are down 3.5 tenths. Excellent lap so far. This could be absolutely huge for Dio. Move him up into P2 at his current pace. Plenty of battery to spare here. He's going to let the overtake rip and put up a 110.4. So there you have it. Dio moves up into P2, breaks out of the group of 110, 7, 8, and 9, and leaves 0.3 seconds to be answered from Clapjack, Born Ready, Jazzbo, and Agog here, all within that half-second range. Born Ready has not quite started their lap yet. So Osmanian Devil was going to be maybe just starting up their lap there. They did not improve on that lap. AK does not improve. Maybe starting up a new one here. We do have two guys on their first out lap of the day. Matthew and Optimus. Tea time, no time posted. One-shot qualifiers out today. We've seen that before from both Matthew and Tea time, so we'll see just what kind of time they put up. Peak hour down 0.1, which actually doesn't improve his position, I don't think. Actually, it just very well may have. He is P7 currently. And here we have Sammy Cush down big time here, and they go 1:11.02. That is going to be P7 for Sammy Cush. Osmanian Devil is going to be making his way around turn 13 and 14 to put up a time. We'll take a look if he has made any major improvement as well. 1:11.073, and that leaves him in P9 right ahead of his teammate Don Duch. We're going to have to quick hop on board with a couple of these other guys. Miss Tea Time just now starting. Oh man, we got a bunch of guys rounding the final corner here. Born Ready being one of them. Born Ready does improve. It looks like he's going to improve about a 10th. Doesn't move him too much. He's in P3 currently. Peak hour not flying just yet. Matthew on their first hot lap here. I'm going to take a look at what he's going to put up. We want to see where Damon sits. Damon not starting his hot lap just yet. A lot of chaos on track here. A lot of guys out either warming these tires up or finishing up their out lap here. Matthew is going to drain the rest of that battery to put up his first time of the day, and it is a 1:12.833, putting him in P14 currently. Jazzbo looks like he's warming up the tires, getting ready for his final lap of the day. There's a Sammy Cush potentially. Peak hour just getting out of the way for what appears to be, was that Don Duch? I believe it was. Osmanian Devil not putting up any time there. Dio looks like he is retired from the session. AK, are you back in the session? I saw your message. I sent you one earlier. I can send you another if needed. Ooh, we have someone come off track there. I think that was just them getting out of the way. Johnny Damon already with a very impressive time. Curious to see if he can drop any bit from that 1:10.06 he posted earlier. Currently still sitting very safe in P1. But certainly wouldn't hurt to extend that gap even further and cement your position at the front of the grid. Little bit of a, looks like he lost a little bit of the rear end there. Oh, and he definitely loses the rear end there. Johnny Damon trying to squeeze out every last bit of performance from that car. But he should still be fine. Despite the spin there, he's going to go ahead and likely take pole here regardless. No one's come close to that. Dio already retiring from the session. Jazzbo is the only one, and him and Agog both, that could make moves here. The closest ones to Johnny Damon currently, and they'll be finishing up their final laps. Looks like Jazzbo may have bailed out of that lap. Agog also may have bailed out of that lap. We do have a peak hour still deploying their battery here, and we'll take a look and see. They are actually about even with their current time of 1:11.03. Several drivers within striking distance here if they can put together a good Sector 3. Does not improve. Peak hour stays in P8. So I believe that is just about it, unless we have one last lap from Matthew, but it looks like that will not be the case. So Johnny Damon, unsurprisingly, takes the P1 there with the 1:10.0. As soon as that one came through, I knew that would be a challenge to beat. Born Ready Does improve on his final lap, but not enough to move. He's going to stick in, or maybe he did move above Clapjack. I could be mistaken there, but he is going to finish P3. Mike Gaudio at P2, 110.4. Captain Clapjack P4. Jazbo P5. So this will be interesting, especially considering Born Ready, Clapjack, and Jazbo are the 3 front runners in the championship right now. And we have Dio and Damon, 2 of the more recent additions to Division 2 or Tier 2, taking the top 2 spots. And we'll take a quick break here before the race begins. AK, again, I want to make sure I'm fairly certain you're back in here, but I can send you another invite if you need. So top 9 here, or it'd be top 8 it looks like, all within a second. And close behind we had P10 and P11, so this is a pretty close grid at the end of the day. I'll be curious to see just how this plays out in the race. And moreover, I'm curious to see what kind of race strategy we're going to be looking at here. So by default, we do have every driver starting on softs. I'd imagine we're going to see some change to that here shortly. Netherlands is a interesting track because the main straight coming out of turn 14 gives you plenty of opportunity to make a lunge into turn 1 with a good exit out of turn 13. But other than that, the overtaking is quite limited. The second DRS zone is rather short, and the chicane that it leads into is relatively difficult and somewhat dangerous to be making moves through. So I'd imagine we're going to see quite a bit of DRS training, I should say, down the main straight. Otherwise, it's going to come down to driver performance and overall race pace throughout the other sectors of the track. Quite a few high-speed corners where maximizing your grip as well as your overall tire performance is going to make a big difference here. A couple lower speed corners, but at the end of the day, maximizing your tire grip and balancing that downforce on your setup is going to be crucial to gaining an advantage over your counterparts. Wouldn't be the first time I've seen races here where we've had guys who are absolutely excellent through sector 2, but don't quite have the downforce down the main straight to really attack too often. So again, it's going to be a matter of the setups and which drivers are going to be elected to go a little bit lower on the downforce. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm trying to remember because it's been a couple weeks now since I've raced here, I believe like relatively high front downforce, but pretty low rear downforce on this track. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's pretty open depending on your driving style. But Sector 2 can be quite difficult when you lower your wings too much. So only a couple guys here appear to have 3 guys. Matthew, Optimus, T-Town in the back on the mediums, as well as Jazbo. Only ones on track, starting on mediums, which will be interesting, given if there is a safety car early and everyone dives into the pits, no one's going to have a set of fresh softs for the end of the race. Interesting to see how this will play out for everybody. Alright, looks like we're going to get this underway. I'd imagine typical HPR fashion, we will not have a warm-up lap, no formation lap, as far as I'm aware. And here we go. We do have all 5 red lights. And away we go. That was quite long. No drive-thrus, fortunately. And it appears everyone's going to maintain position. We do have one of the Racing Bulls in the back looking to make a move. The McLaren dives to the inside, causing a big pile up there. Looks like there's 4 or 5 different cars involved. Johnny Damon goes ahead and retains his position in first. Dio maintains in second. We have Born Ready moving up past Clapjack into third. Quite a few people involved in the first lap shenanigans. We'll take a quick look at that here shortly once everyone settles in. Optimus Tea Time makes a couple nice moves up into P11. Looks like Elon Rogan and LK are 2 of the... Oh! And another... Maybe not too big of an incident. I think it was a little dramatic with the brake marker there. But either way, that would be AK who had gone off track and does certainly have some front wing damage. Don Duch moves his way past LK, so LK finding himself down into P13 now. Position change-wise here. So it certainly was AK and Don Duch. And LK actually started in P13, excuse me. It was Don Duch and AK now down 2 and 3 spots respectively. Johnny Damon is going to go ahead and retain the lead through the first lap of the race. We'll take a look at what exactly happened here off the start. Believe it was the McLaren Peak Hour who may have locked up on those cold tires into turn 1. Running into one of the Racing Bulls and causing a little bit of a pile up there. It doesn't look like anyone has elected to dive into the pits though, so certainly at least 1, maybe 2 cars with wing damage, none of which are going to get those wings repaired just yet. We'll see just how much that impacts their race pace. So there you have it, race strategies. Starting on softs, you can elect to hop on either a set of hards or mediums. I guess suppose it depends just how you're feeling with your pace and your degradation. Tasmanian Devil makes a move past Peak Hour, who, believe it or not, just taking a look at him from afar, doesn't appear to have any visible damage on the car despite the lap 1 incident there. Optimus Tea Time is the biggest mover so far. He does lose a position to Elon Rogan down into turn 1, but he is still up 4 places into P11. Top 5, though, remains static. Looks like nobody has made a move, but they are all still within DRS. We do have a now 3.8, nearly 4-second gap here to Sammy Cush in P6. Sammy Cush is going to be looking to maybe, eat up some of that gap there. But the top 5 now are well ahead and running a race of their own here on lap 3. Don Duch makes his way past LK Peak Hour, past Tasmanian Devil. Tasmanian Devil appears to have lost quite a few positions here. Double check. I'm trying to remember if there was anyone else who had wing damage. There was a single driver missing an M plate. Maybe not the end of the world. Hope for a safety car, even a virtual safety car later, just to cover up some of the time it would take to repair that wing. Taking a look at the front 5 pack, looks like Jazzbo is just falling out of DRS range. He's going to be looking to fight back into that DRS train to stick with the leaders here, which he does for now. Johnny Damon's pacing quite well. Looks like Optimus Tea Time may have lost a position there. He's going to go around the inside of turn 4. We certainly have a close battle here for P11. P9, actually would be P11 here. I'm going to turn this off so we can see a little bit better. Top 5 remain very consistent here. Really no major gaps. Jazbo has now fallen out of DRS, but he at the same time is still pulling ahead by leaps and bounds ahead of Sammy Cush, now 6 seconds behind. So Jazbo is going to find himself on a little bit of an island here, looking to gain back some of that time, get back into the DRS train, while also pulling further away from Sammy Cush, who again is just falling back rapidly. Osmanian Devil makes a move on Elon Rogan into the inside of turn 1. Gets that done pretty cleanly. Elon Rogan took a quick look there on the inside, but not going to quite be able to get it done. So we're starting to settle in here. Top 4 remain pretty consistent. We know Johnny Damon has some pretty great race pace. He's going to be the pace setter for the time being. But the 4 behind not seeming to have any trouble just yet on the current set of tires. Keeping up with Johnny Damon, but no overtakes in the top 5 through 5 laps. AK is riding all over the rear of Optimus Tea Time, who has now started falling back to where he began. Had quite a good start here. It's just going to be a matter of him defending off some of these drivers behind him. He's got 2 Mercedes, Matthew being quite a bit further behind. Just want to see, again, position change-wise, nothing too crazy. AK is the only one to fall more than 2 places, down into 14th. Optimus Tea Time makes his way past LK. Oops. Now we do have a little bit of a gap developing up in the top of the pack. Johnny Damon has now just worked his way beyond the 1 second interval to Mike Dio. So Johnny Damon is going to be looking to make some moves here. I'd imagine Dio may have made a mistake because Born Ready is now all over the rear end of Dio, as is Clapjack. Very much held up behind Dio. I'm going to be surprised if Born Ready doesn't go for a move coming out of turn 14 here. Sure enough, he is going to go ahead and throw on overtake. Turns it off there. He might have realized he just doesn't quite have the top speed he's going to need. Meanwhile, Dio is sitting at just about 44% battery. No overtakes just yet. It would appear everyone's on pretty similar downforce setups. Johnny Damon still retains that 1.2 second lead. No major change there through lap 6. Everyone else on the grid appears to have started spacing out a little bit. There really aren't too many battles being had currently. Elon Rogan, Don Duch, both in DRS range of Osmanian Devil. And LK is now riding the rear diffuser of Optimus Tea Time, with AK shortly behind him as well. Johnny Damon is looking very, very solid currently. Now 1.48 seconds into the lead. Crosses the line into lap 8. Born Ready does get the move done past Dio pretty cleanly there through the DRS zone. Not much Dio could do there to defend, so Born Ready now is going to be chasing down Johnny Damon to take yet another race win on the year. So Dio might be losing a little bit of pace on those soft tires now through about 7.5 laps here. These tires will start to wear a little bit. Netherlands, our call is pretty standard on tire wear. I don't think it's too bad, especially given we're going to have guys running the soft to medium strategy today. I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. Looks like Johnny Damon may have locked up a little bit there, left some smoke behind the car. Born Ready does not quite close that gap down. He got down to about 1.1, but Johnny Damon continues to fight him off. Don Duch makes a move in the second DRS zone, it would look like, past Elon Rogan. Nice move there. So they kept it clean. AK finds himself in the gravel trap. Not sure if a mistake was made there, but that's going to drop him back down into P14. The Mercedes are not looking too great this week. Peak Hour makes a move on Agog. Moves up to P7, the sole McLaren driver tonight. Dio is now rapidly catching back up to Born Ready, who wasn't able to close that gap to Johnny Damon. So Dio's looking to get those tires fired back up and take back that P2 position in which he started. Captain Clapjack, though, looming large in the rearview mirror. We do have what appears to be Sammy Cush may have taken a little bit of a spin and again there, going into what I believe is the hairpin. Oh, we could have an incident there. That was close. Optimus Tea Time just saw his life flash before his eyes. That was pretty scary there. Sammy Cush now falls down all the way into P14, so certainly going to hurt their chances here tonight. I'm trying to remember. I believe they started, must have been P7 maybe. Yep, it was P7. So they've now fallen down 7 positions. They're going to have some work to do, but they aren't too far back, and they don't appear to have any damage. So there are some silver linings. The two Racing Bulls fighting hard here. Don Duch and Osmanian Devil both sitting in the points. Don Duch moving up beyond Osmanian Devil from the P10 position in which he started. Up at the top of the field, Jesbo 5.7 seconds back, so quite a bit of a gap there to the top 4. Clapjack is sitting what appears to be quite patiently behind Dio. It's going to be really tough for him to make moves, knowing Dio is going to also have the DRS into the main straight here. And Dio is quite a ways back on Born Ready, so this would be a tough move to make. Not quite going to be able to get it done. Did carry quite a bit of speed into turn 1 there, and it's going to bring down his interval to just over 310. So, battle for P2 quite close here, and it's a matter of just one really, really solid lap from Born Ready to see this turn into a battle for P1 once again. Racing Bulls going at it once again. Neck and neck here, only about a car or two's length apart. Looks like there may have been a mistake from Born Ready. Now falling back another 0.4 of a second here. And Mike Gaudio right on the rear end of Born Ready. If he can get a good launch out of turn 13 here, he's going to have an excellent chance to take P2 back. Is the move going to get done? It's going to be a move looking on the inside, wheel to wheel around turn 1 we go. 2 cars on the inside here, including Captain Clapjack. Captain Clapjack's not going to be able to get it done. He backs out. Likely the smart choice in that situation. But Dio does take back P2. We do have a caution. It's come out in Sector 3. It looks like we have an Alpine of Sammy Cush. May have spun once more. Sammy Cush might want to just hop off those tires for the time being after a couple incidents there. Let's take a quick look at the move to the inside by Mike Gaudio. Cleanly done, left him plenty of space on the outside. Captain Clapjack, wishful thinking to get through as well. Very well done. Clapjack. I'm just curious, just what kind of battery strategy he... Oh, wow, that was a weird little visual glitch there. That looked like a disaster unfolding in front of our eyes. Born Ready does make it past Dio once more, so it's back and forth now for these P2 contenders. Only downside here is they are giving up some time to Johnny Damon while battling through turn 1. Now up to 1.9 seconds. Johnny Damon certainly not complaining. Let him fight behind him and extend that gap. I'd imagine undercut is certainly in play here with Johnny Damon out on the softs. If either Born Ready, Gaudio, or Clapjack decides to pit a lap or two early here, could give him the edge to take track position going into the second half of the race here. Real quick, we'll take another look at that overtake. Just caught a glimpse of it there, but either way, I'd imagine we're going to see a lot more of the same here in the coming laps. I'm just curious. So no one's pitted. Looks like Clapjack. Ooh, I just missed that. Clapjack makes a move. He does not make a move. Dio actually is the one to go into the pit. So I'm curious to see, A, is he going to be putting on the hard tires? He does. So white wall tires are on. And Dio's out on the hards. So he's going to go ahead and take the more conservative route. But he is going to have an opportunity to undercut here. Going in on lap 13. Coming out on lap 14 here. Only falls down to P6 for the time being. Osmanian Devil makes the move past his teammate Don Duch, keeps it clean. There you have it. We do have, let's see here, we'll take a look at some tires. So, only one to pit, other than Sammy Cush, earlier in the race would be, or no, Sammy Cush might just be finishing up that lap, excuse me. Speaking of which, they do dive into the pits as well. They get the 10-second speeding in the pit lane penalty. Always a heartbreaker there, but they may be throwing on hards, I'd imagine. They do go with the medium strategy, so different than Dio. They're going to go ahead and put on the slightly more aggressive compound. Captain Clapjack's going to follow suit and dive into the pits as well. Born Ready and Johnny Damon, though, stay out on the soft tires. Will it make a difference for... Oh, I don't know what the delay is there. Was it a double stack? Oh, it was a double stack from Sammy Cush. That hurts real bad for Captain Clapjack. I've actually made the same mistake. A teammate coming in, good lap behind the front of the field there, and that's going to hurt Captain Clapjack quite a bit. He lost several seconds in the pit lane, and he comes out into a load of traffic here. So really a nightmare scenario for Clapjack, given the rest of his race has been quite clean thus far. On these softer tires, he's going to be looking to get by these soft runners as soon as possible if they don't pit here on lap 15. Dio, though, on the hards, pretty clean air in front of him. He does have peak hour ahead by a second. He's going to get the DRS advantage while Johnny Damon dives into the pit lane. So let's take a look here and see if Dio, with the undercut, made up enough time to get past Johnny Damon. Oh, that could have been a disaster in real life. Johnny Damon now leaving the pits. He put on a set of mediums, and it's actually not going to be enough for Dio. Dio did not make the undercut work. Born Ready. Uh-oh. Johnny Damon gets a penalty. Unless I missed that earlier, I'm not quite sure what that penalty is. Oh, did he get a speeding penalty? I did not catch that. So that is really, really going to hurt Johnny Damon. Even with the excellent lead he has, 10 seconds is quite a ways to go. Optimus T-Tom is just disqualified from the session. He was blocking the pit lane. I can't quite say I've seen that one before here in HPR Racing, but we have a disqualification. That's quite interesting, actually. I have not seen that. Matthew and AK having started on the harder compounds have not pitted. LK in the same situation, and Peak Hour as well, who is currently holding P3 but still needs to pit. Born Ready, who had dove into the pits at the same time as Johnny Damon, 3.6 behind Damon. Damon does hold the 10-second penalty, so halfway through the race here, just under halfway at 17 laps, Johnny Damon is going to have to make up 6 seconds to retain that lead as it stands. Peak Hours all over the rear end of Dio, but running those 16-lap mediums, probably not getting too much of an advantage on the track here, but will enjoy a DRS tow for the remainder of the time they sit in that streamline there. AK dives into a set of hard tires, which leaves us only 3 guys remaining who have not pitted yet, between Peak Hour, LK, and Matthew. So Johnny Damon is picking up the pace a little bit here, now a full 4 seconds ahead of Born Ready. Still has quite a bit of work to do, though. Peak Hour stays out. Now 17 laps on those mediums. I'd imagine he's going to be looking to swap over to a set of softs in the next 2 or 3 laps. Elon Rogan looking at the rear end of Matthew on the 16-lap-old hards. He's going to have a little bit of a grip advantage coming out of the final corner there. It's quite a bit of distance to make up, though. Not going to get it done here on lap 18. So the only other person with a penalty other than Damon is Osmanian Devil with 3 seconds. I know Sammy Cush also had the 10-second penalty, but they have retired from the session. And then we have, of course, Optimus Tea Time disqualified. Still not quite sure what happened there. Peak Hour does get the move done past Dio there. So McLaren still finding a little bit of pace on those worn medium tires. Dio, on the other hand, has quite a bit of time to make up, so he's going to want to take back that position sooner rather than later on the fresher tires. A little bit of traffic here. Getting around Matthew. Oh! End plate goes flying off into the grandstands there. Not quite sure what happened, but we do have a driver in the pits. It's going to be Matthew throwing on a set of mediums. Only a couple guys left to pit. We got LK on 19-lap old mediums. He's going to have to dive in shortly. Agog is DNF. We have a caution. So Agog out of the race as well. Not sure that was self-imposed or if that was an incident. Dio takes back the position on Peak Hour through turn 1. The two continue to battle. Peak Hour not having pitted yet. He's still putting up a decent pace here around the Netherlands track. Another overtake. Ooh, it looks like Elon Rogan sitting in neutral here. We may have had a... Oh, and there goes another disqualification. Agog's unhappy. May have had something to do... Looks like something... Maybe a game error there. But Elon Rogan just went and parked the car there in neutral. I'm not sure if that was a maybe it was a wheel disconnect. Some strange things happening tonight. I'm not not quite sure what that's all about. Piekauer, though, is finally going to dive into the pits on lap 21. We'll be seeing him throw on a set of soft tires. We have quite a few guys pass him here while he swaps off those used mediums. Looks like Jasbo gets by, Clapjack gets by. I'm going to imagine we're going to see LK get... No, excuse me, LK also had to pit. So, last but not least, LK dives in, same as Piekauer, both of which are going to go ahead and put on those softs. And they're going to be looking to chase down some guys here in the remaining 15 laps. Johnny Damon, despite the 10-second penalty, is pacing quite well. Now 6 seconds up on Born Ready. So Born Ready, task ahead. Keep within 3.5 more seconds. Johnny Damon to take the race win and avoid getting any penalties yourself. Damon's not making it easy for him, though. Believe when he hopped out of the pits, he was just over 3 seconds. And has already extended that gap. Another 3 seconds here, up to 6.6. The rest of the field is quite spread out at this point. We're down to 11 drivers. A couple DNFs, a couple disqualifications as well. Yeah, so Elon Rogan, that's unsurprising there, had some technical wheel issues. Fortunately, did not cause any issues with the other drivers on track. Parked there in neutral. So we had someone blocking the pit lane, and we had someone decide to park on the side of the track. It's been a strange night for sure. I know that wasn't Elon's fault, but didn't cause any damage to anyone else, and afforded everyone else an additional place in the final grid order. So either way, we do have one driver now falling within DRS. It's going to be Jasbo looking at the rear end of Dio for the final podium position of P3. Jasbo is going to take a look to the inside. Ooh, just barely made a little contact there with Dio. Nothing major there, but wasn't able to get the move done. Jasbo backed out on the inside line. They went wheel to wheel, and Dio goes very wide around turn 1, but defends the position. Jasbo playing it a bit more conservatively. Wants to keep his car in one piece. So we'll change the details here real quick. Ooh! And it looks like Jasbo went onto the inside again there, and again contact with Dio. I was looking at the laps. Didn't quite see what happened there. Fortunately, we do have a replay here. Looks like he did just peek at the inside there. Wasn't really enough to make a move, but just enough to make contact with the rear right tire of Mike Dio there. So Jasbo now going to fall back by a little bit of time there. Biggest movers of the day thus far. We have LK up 5 places and looking to make that 6 on the rear end of Don Duch. Going to go wheel to wheel there. LK on the outside. He's going to switch back into the inside line. Are they going to get it done here? Turn 3 and into 4. Wheel to wheel racing here. LK goes around the outside. He's going to have to go ahead and give it up back to Don Duch. I imagine they'll keep fighting this one out for the remainder of the lap. But either way, like I said, LK up 5 places is the biggest mover of the day, at least vertically. Matthew up 4, up to P10. Despite there were a few DNFs and disqualifications, he has moved up now into the points. Don Duch up 3 as well. So he's up as well as LK and Peakower ahead of him. 2 places up. Otherwise, the top 5 remains pretty consistent. Captain Clapjack is down to P5, swapping spots with Jazzbo, and Born Ready swapping with Dio for P2. Take a look here, see if LK wants to make the move. Looks like he's not going to quite have the speed to get it done, but he is saving up a fair amount of battery here, up to 85%. Might be having some trouble with his top speed, so he's going to be looking to save his battery for one good overtake past Don Duch. Don Duch is running quite a bit lower on battery there. Not quite in panic mode yet, but likely want to be a bit more conservative there to defend off LK for the next 10 laps here. Meanwhile, Jazzbo takes a look at Clapjack. He's going to go on the inside. Dio, not Clapjack. Dio takes the outside line and defends the P3 position. Jazzbo really looking at getting that final podium position. Really not much reason for him to not go for it here. I just want to double check tire wear here. So Jazzbo is on the more aggressive compound. 11 laps versus 12 on the hards for Dio. Jazzbo might have the outright advantage currently. Beyond lap, say, 32, 33, Dio might be pacing a bit faster just because he's running those more durable tires. These two go at it. We're going to take a look at Jazzbo once more. Quite close to Dio here. Gets a good launch. He's going to throw on the overtake. Ooh, and he's going to squeeze the outside there. Just about finds himself on the grass. Little bit of contact there. Dio going a bit wide. But again, Dio defends. And Jazzbo now left very, very minimal battery. Takes a look at the inside out of turn 4. Just based on watching this without knowing their setups, it would seem that Jazzbo is riding a much more aggressive downforce setup. I guess I should say conservative with the higher downforce setup. Because he's having no trouble at all keeping up with Dio around these slow and medium speed corners. But just can't quite get the move done down the main straight. So again, I think Dio is likely running a lower downforce setup, causing a lot of trouble for Jazzbo to get by. Meanwhile, with 8 laps to go, Johnny Damon does extend his lead up to 8.4. So this could really come down to the last few laps here. If he can hold that 10-second gap. Here goes Jazzbo on the inside. He's going to burn pretty much all the battery he has left to take the inside line. Oh, and we do have a little bit of contact there. Not quite sure if anyone was at fault there. We'll take a look at it. It was Jazzbo who had the inside line, Dio taking the outside there, and both cars come loose. Dio's going to take back the P3 position. He was imminently losing there in turn 1. I can just imagine Jazzbo must be frustrated at this point. Dio has just defended this P3 position like his life depended on it. So here we go. Jazzbo taking the inside there. He's clearly got the edge going into turn 1. Maybe goes a hair wide, but leaves plenty of space there for Dio. I'm not sure if that's penalty worthy, but Dio could have gone a bit wider there probably. Quite a lot of track space going around turn 1. And Dio was clearly beat to the apex as well. So here we go again. This time looks like he's going to get it done cleanly. He actually runs a bit wide to defend that same move that Dio's been pulling off the past couple laps. And he's going to get by there without any additional scratches to the car. Meanwhile, while these two fight, Captain Clapjack has entered the party now. 0.8 seconds behind Mike Gaudio. So while these two have battled, Captain Clapjack has taken the time to, again, find himself in position to also potentially take the final podium position. Here we go, another Red Bull trying to get by a Racing Bull of Don Duch. We'll hop back over here in a second when they get to the DRS zone, but meanwhile, we have a yellow flag come out. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Unfortunately, Born Ready now may have made a mistake or has lost quite a bit of pace here. He's about to give up that 10-second interval to Damon with 6 full laps to go. So Johnny Damon now erasing that penalty from earlier. Very infrequently will you see somebody win a race with a 10-second speeding penalty, but we just might see that tonight. So, the battle for P3 is heating up as we speak. Clapjack has found some serious pace on those medium tires, and he is going to be in attack mode here behind Dio, as he was earlier in the race. We do have a safety car come out. This is really, really going to hurt Johnny Damon. Right as I spoke that he had this race locked up, there you have it. That penalty is really going to hurt him now. By the time the safety car ends, they're going to be looking at maybe 3, 4 at most laps. Potentially even just 2 laps. Damon's going to fall down quite a bit. He's serving the penalty currently. So that gives Born Ready the lead. Johnny Damon only falls to second, though. Everyone else pitting for softs. We do have some guys who had started on softs. I'm curious what their tire degradation's looking like, if they're using the same softs from earlier, or if they had saved a set from qualifying. So as the order stands, just about everybody has elected to go ahead and put on softs. Really no reason not to here for a final shootout once the safety car makes their way back into the pit lane. Johnny Damon, though, has rid himself of his 10-second penalty, so his hopes are not totally vanquished. He does have a chance here. He's only got to get past Born Ready, who has had the slower pace all night, but he's not going to have much time to do it. And meanwhile, you have Jazzbo, Dio, and Clapjack, who have all been racing well. They're going to catch right up to the back of him. And this could be quite exciting after what has been a relatively tame race. Not too much going on here. Quite a few gaps had formed by about halfway through. With so many cars yet to catch up, though, this might be another lap or 2 from the safety car. So they're really not going to have much track left to make some movements up the order here. Sorry, real quick, I just want to see. So Agog was hit with the connecting to network services error. That is a notorious one. I've been there as well. So that happened to Agog. May have caused him to DNF. Essentially totally blinds you with a gray screen during the race. It's actually, I have no idea how that made it past the quality assurance team at EA, but it did, and it causes some serious issues with some of the drivers. Not the first time we've seen it, and sadly probably not the last. Tasmanian Devil hit with a 10-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. Yeah, not quite sure. Not quite sure what happened there. That is going to kill the chances of Osmanian getting points tonight. Sitting in P10 currently. And we'll have a 10-second penalty with only a few laps left here in the race. Matthew. Also, 10-second flag for ignoring the yellow flag. I don't know what in the world's going on back here. But that's going to make things interesting for P10. Now we got two guys with the 10 seconds. He's taking out all the signs out of a fit of rage there. Takes it out on the poor cardboard sign sitting trackside there. And these two will now be penalty-wise even. So at least we'll see a race out of them. I'm seeing are these lapped cars? I'm seeing a 1 minute and 11 second gap from Osmanian to AK. I must be lapped cars. Are they trying to unlap themselves is probably what's going on. So I'm not sure why they're getting penalties as they are. Hopefully they can unlap themselves here. He's sitting back behind Born Ready though. And now Johnny Damon looks to be trying to what in the hell? Okay, so now Matthews disqualified for driving the wrong way. So he's going to go ahead and unalive himself after having a few penalties rack up there. But yeah, Osmanian now, it would appear he was looking to unlap himself and is now sitting behind Born Ready. And he is a major obstacle for Johnny Damon behind. I'm assuming he will get out of the way pretty quickly, I'd imagine. But that could be the difference there for Johnny Damon. Hopefully it won't be for his odds of getting this race win tonight. So there we go. Safety car in this lap. I think I've now seen 3 penalties tonight. 3 that we have not seen all season this far. Between blocking the pit lane, driving backwards, and parking. So we are breaking records. Maybe not the ones you want to break, but we're breaking some records tonight. There goes Born Ready. Looks like they're back up to race speed here into turn 13. Gets a pretty good launch. And there we go. The blue flag comes out. I was going to say it would almost look like Osmanian was making an inside move there to Born Ready, but he gets out of the way, and we are underway here. Born Ready gets a fairly good launch here. Johnny Damon does as well, though, so he's sitting back about half a second behind Born Ready. The pressure is on. We're on lap 34. Got about 2.5 laps left to go. No DRS for this first lap. We'll see it reactivate here at the end of lap 34, most likely. And Born Ready is already facing immense pressure from Johnny Damon, who has a boatload of ERS ready to deploy at a moment's notice. Gap has formed already between Clapjack and Peak Hour. Peak Hour may have not gotten the best launch there from the safety car restart. And Osmanian Devil, 2 minutes behind the field, but still in line for points tonight. So might as well wrap up the race. Hell, try to put up a fastest lap if you can. Johnny Damon, though, he's going to go ahead and deploy the overtake, and he's got the speed for it. It's going to be Captain Clapjack who puts up the fastest time of the day with a 1:11.4, and Johnny Damon doesn't get it done just yet. It cost him a lot of his battery there, but just not enough to get it done. They did go wheel to wheel there. Born Ready gets the better launch out of turn 1. Quick replay there while we make our way through Sector 2. So Damon, who had dove to the inside there, braked quite early, playing a bit conservative there. Can't blame him. But either way, doesn't quite get it done. He's going to have more opportunities yet to come, but that cost him a lot of his battery. He is starting to recharge a fair amount of it, but he's not sitting as pretty as he was just a lap ago there. Coming through the penultimate corner of the penultimate lap, this will be Johnny Damon's chance here to get the move done. We have seen some late last corner moves here in the Netherlands, so it's not totally out of the picture for Born Ready to still be able to get it done. Coming into turn 1, Born Ready takes the outside again. They're going to go wheel to wheel, and they're still wheel to wheel. Who's going to get it through turn 4? Through turn 4 here, it's going to be Born Ready taking the inside line. Both get a good exit, still wheel to wheel, but Born Ready just doesn't quite get the grip out of turn 4 there. Taking the inside line is extremely hard to match the car on the outside there of Johnny Damon. It's a great launch. Born Ready low on battery, as is Johnny Damon. This race isn't quite over, though. Like I said, we could still see a photo finish here down the final main straight if he can get a good launch. Seen it before. Will we see it again tonight? Ooh, not a great launch there out of turn 13. This is going to make the difference. Will he have the launch to get it done? Johnny Damon's blinking. His battery's low, as is Born Ready's. He's going to get a little bit of a push here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. There you go. Johnny Damon takes it. Mike Audio. Oh, man, we have a lot of people closing in fast here. Peak Hour's going to take P6. And we have Don Duch. Makes a move on LK at the end there. Didn't quite catch all the finishes. But, yeah, well, there you have it. What a race. Johnny Damon gets it done despite the 10-second penalty. So, with the safety car in mind, it was fortunate for him to be able to serve that penalty in the pit lane and take the race win regardless. So, Johnny Damon, another race win to his portfolio. He'll remain in P4, but he is closing the gap. Born Ready still with a solid 18 points there. I believe it was Clapjack who ended with the fastest lap. I may have missed it, though. Someone else may have taken it there on the final lap. Either way, take a quick look at the final times and laps to get an idea of who's going to be sitting where in these standings. I know Jazzbo and Clapjack very, very close to each other. So Jazzbo does, in fact, edge out Clapjack with P4. Clapjack does retain the fastest lap with the 1:11.4. Very quick track time there. And that's going to ultimately extend Jazzbo's lead by 1, but that's only going to be a total of 4 or 5 point difference there. Born Ready retains P1, and Johnny Damon again closes the gap with another 25 points. Good racing from all. Johnny Damon starts pole, finishes first. Otherwise, not too many movers here. A few DNFs. And LK moving up into the points, as is AK. As per usual. I'll take a quick look at what we got going on next week here. So, next week we will have Monza, which will be fun to watch following the race at Monza this weekend. And that will be same time as always, Thursdays, 9 o'clock Eastern. As per usual, it's been fun commentating over you guys. Good racing there, really good racing. Kept it pretty clean, had a few pretty crazy penalties throughout the race, but just adds to the entertainment value for me. I will catch you guys later, and once again, thanks for a good race.